Hello everyone. In this presentation, we will be studying about the Unit 5 applications of mechatronics system. It is from the subject mechatronics. It is for the 6th sem electrical and electronic students of diploma. Let's begin. First, we will see the contents. First, introduction. The next, advantages and disadvantages of robots. Then applications of robots, robotic system, microprocessor based robotic system, then automatic camera, automatic washing machine, then car engine management system, pick and place robot, and at last temperature measurement system. So these all things we will be studying in this presentation. Okay, so first, what is robot? So robot, it is nothing but it is a system that contains sensors, control system, manipulators, power supplies, software, all working together to form a particular task. Okay, so here robotics is nothing but it is the art, knowledge base and known how of design, applying and using robots in human endeavors, or it is nothing but robotics is the science of designing and building robots suitable for real life application in automated manufacturing and other non-manufacturing environment. So these robots, what it will be used for the to make the work simple of the human beings basically. Then next, what is robotics? So this one, as I told you, it is the science of designing and building robots suitable for real life application in automatic manufacturing and other non-manufacturing environments. The next one, functions of robots. So what are the functions? It will reduce production life, then minimize labor requirements. So wherever we require human beings, that is we can use in harsh environment where human beings can't they are not safe to work, there we can use the robots. So there we will be minimizing the labor requirement. Then enhanced quality of products, so products quality will be increased. Then minimize the loss of man hours or account of or accident. Then make reliable and high speed production. These are the functions of robotics. The next one, classifications of robots. So the main classifications, that is the main characteristics by which a robot can be identified, are type of drive and type of end effectors. So first one we will be seeing, that is classification based on physical configuration. So on based on physical configuration, that is four basic configuration are identified with most commercial available industrial robots. They are Cartesian configuration, cylindrical configuration, polar configuration, jointed arm configuration. Then next one is what, depending on type of drive. Okay, so here it will be related to the drive, what drive they are going to use over here. That is nothing but that is moving their arm, wrist and body. Drive system will be for moving the arm, wrist and body. A drive system is usually used to determine the capacity of a robot. By operating the robot joints, there will be three different types of drive systems. Those are electric drive system, hydraulic drive system and pneumatic drive system. So this electric drive system, it will be for perfect for small robots and for specific application. Then hydraulic drive system, it is designed for large size robots. It requires high power or speed than the electric drive system it will be having. The next one is pneumatic drive system, that is used primarily for small type of robot which is less than 5 degrees of freedom. So its ability to provide, it will be ability to provide fine accuracy and speed. Okay, those are nothing but type of drive depending on. Then next one, classification, that is type of end effectors. So here, So end effectors will be what that is pick and place and all those will be end effectors. Okay, then these are the types of the classification of robots. The next, advantages and disadvantages. Okay, so here advantages: robot increases productivity, safety, efficiency, quality and consistency of products. So they can work in hazardous environment. Hazardous environment means where human beings, if they work, they will be in means they will be in trouble, or it is not a good environment for human beings to work there. We can like in nuclear plants, in chemical industries, they're all okay, where safety is not there for the human beings. Then robots, they do not require environmental comfort, like wherever the temperature is high or wherever it is too cold, so like that comfort is not required as human beings require. Then robots can process multiple similar tasks simultaneously. Robots lack capability to respond in emergency. Then robots work continuously without experiencing fatigue or problem. So what it is means, human beings, they get tired after some time, but robot will not get tired, that it is. The next one, robots have repeatable precision at all times. Robots can be much more accurate than human, so they can be accurate. Then robots replace human workers, creating economic problems. Then disadvantages, they, what are the disadvantages? As I told you, they will replace the human workers, so that it will be one disadvantage. Then robots lack capability to respond in emergency, means they by themselves they can't think. Okay, whatever we tell, that much only they will do, so in emergency they can't think. Then the initial and installation cost of the equipments of robots are quite high. So the robots at initial, they will be, the cost will be high. Okay, then next one, applications of robots. So where they are used, applications of robots, that is, they are used in material transfer application, then machine loading and unloading, then processing operations like spot welding, then continuous arc welding, spray coating, drilling, routing, machining operations, then grinding, polishing, debarring, wire brushings, then in laser drilling and cutting. The next, assembly task, assembly cell design, parts mating, then inspection, automation or test equipment. So here these all they will be used. In future they might be used in for intelligence, then for sensor capabilities, then telepresence, mechanical design, mobility and navigation, in universal gripper, system and integration and networks, then in flexible manufacturing systems, underground coal mining, firefighting operations. They can be used in space, for security guards, for garbage collection, household robots, and even for medical care and in hospital duties. Okay, the next one is what? Robotic system. Okay, so a robot is a system, what it will be, as it combines many subsystems. Means why it is not only called robot, why it is called robotic system. System means what? Many components together, combining together, then it will form a system. So here also a robot is a system as it combines many subsystems that interact among themselves as well as with the environment in which the robot works. So here a robot has many components, which includes a base, fixed or mobile, then a manipulator arm, you can see in the diagram. Okay, a manipulator arm with several degree of freedom. Then next, an end effector or gripper holding a part or a tool. So end effector, that it will be for pick and place, that one. Okay, then next is what? Drives or actuators causing the manipulator arm or end effector to move in a space. Then what it will be there? Controller with hardware and software support for giving commands to the drives. then there will be a controller, then sensors will be there, so that they will give feedback information. Okay, then next interfaces connection, that it will be what for external world, means to connect any other device. Okay, leaving this, then a robot will be having some specific objective. So it may be designed for simply pick up and placing the workpieces. It may be employed to interact with a workload, a lathe, a milling machine, or any equipment, or it may also perform some assembly work. So here it will accomplish the job of robot must have a suitable manipulator arm. Then it should be having a suitable gripper to match the geometry of the workpiece. Then the robot may have some sensors, that is feedback. Okay, the controller, what it will do, it will control all the parts and for interfacing. Then it consists of manipulator arm and a gripper, a controller and a power source, so that it will get power. Okay, so these all things, that is nothing but your robotic system. You can see in the diagram, these all things are there. The next one we will be seeing about microprocessor based robotic system. So here what it will be, there will be a microprocessor in this. Okay, that will be controlling, processing the data and all. Okay, so here you can see the diagram of a basic microprocessor based robotic system. So the microprocessor system consists of its what, central processing unit, program and data memory, and variety of input output functions, all of which are what, they are interconnected to the microprocessor subsystem. Okay, system bus. So here, in order to add some reality to the general picture, it can be assumed that the machine is robot arm. Okay, the microprocessor system, what all, as I told you, it will be consisting of your CPU, then input output, then your buses. Okay, then the amount of memory here required for the robot to control application would be perhaps of the order of 0.5 megabits bytes to 128 kilobytes. It will be a read write memory, so that you can store over there your programs. Then next, in addition, there may also be a small amount of extra memory. The primary function of microprocessor based robot controller is to control the axis of robot arm. Okay, so this microprocessor, what it will do, it will control the axis of the robot arm. Then next one, in addition, there will be a coordinating task of calculating the speed direction of individual axis. So the feedback will be there and we have to calculate, it will calculate and then it will give the signal. Then this requires the CPU to have an adequate performance as defined by processing requirements of application and its real-time requirements. In robot control application, 16 or 32-bit CPUs are normally required over here. Then the robot arm itself is interfaced to the microprocessor. So the arm will be what, connected to the microprocessor. Then in the system under consideration, each X, Y and Z Cartesian axis is driven by an electric motor. So there will be electric motors. Through that electric motor it will be driven. Okay, the speed of the motor is sensed by a digital output encoder. Then all these different types of signals require, what do they require? They require signal processing. So that so microprocessor is there that it will process the signals. Okay, a system such as robot will be what, likely to be a part of larger controlled system. Then the type of the system is called as here distributed control system, the effectiveness of which lies in matching the design of the communication system to the application. Okay, so here in this manner what your robot will be working. So you can see over there, manual control will be there, then interface and drive, then your microprocessor. So microprocessor will process your data, it will display your data, then There is an interface. That interface will be connected to your what? Your robot, that is the arm. Then compressor, why it is used? So that the arms and all, they can be moving. Okay, and there will be a power source to give power to whole your system. Okay, so like this your this robotic system will be working. Then next one is what? Automatic camera. So automatic camera, here it is a modern automatic camera with focusing and exposure. So here what it will be, they will be having lenses, mirror, viewfinder, battery, flash, aperture, shutter, film, etc. So these all things they will be having. So you can see the diagram. So there are short forms for each. L stands for lens. Okay. Then S stands for shutter. VF, it is nothing but viewfinder. Then B is nothing but battery. AD is aperture drive. Then MD is mirror drive. SD2 is shutter drive. Close it will be. Then M is equal to mirror. F is nothing but film. Then FL is what? Flash. Then A is aperture. LD is lens drive. SD1 is nothing but shutter drive open. LP is nothing but lens position encode. Okay, so here the system actuation switch sets the what? The camera to be in ready position. When you that system when you means that power switch will be there in the camera. Okay, then next, input from the range sensor is processed by the microprocessor based controller. Then based on the feedback signal from the lens position encoder, it is modified to the desired position of the correct focus. Then how this your automatic camera will work, we will be seeing. That is the steps for autofocusing, how it will be. Send the start command to the lens. Okay, then receive the input from the range sensor. There will be a range sensor. Then next, determine the initial lens position from the input of the lens position encoder. Then it will calculate the lens movement required. After that, it will send the lens movement data to the lens position drive. Then the lens movement based will be based on the feedback signal. The next one, aperture controller. So here what it will be, the shutter switch is pressed. Then after what we will focusing, what we will do, we will click, no? So we will shutter, that is nothing but shutter switch we will be pressing. Okay, then the main microcontroller, what it will do, it will calculate the shutter speed and aperture settings and gives output signal to the viewfinder and LCD display. Then next it will be pressing the shutter switch to fully depress second position makes the main microcontroller issue a signal to operate mirror drive. Then next, the shutter is kept open for, means the shutter will, when we press, shutter will be open for few amount of time. When the shutter will be closed, the film is advanced for the next snap. Then what it will be there, when it will be in dark, that time when we press, it will, battery will test the flash first. Okay, then whenever it will be operated, that time the flash also will occur. So how it will be working? First, read shutter button position will be there. Then take input from the metering sensor. Then what? It will translate into appropriate shutter speed. Then second position of the shutter button. Then a signal will be issued to mirror drive. Then the signal to shutter drive will open for calculated time. Then supply output signal to the closed shutter. Then film will be sent to the drive motor. Okay, so like this your picture will be clicked by the automatic camera. Then next one we will be studying about automatic washing machine. So here in an automatic washing machine, they will be having integrated sensors, controllers, programs to measure the load, fill with water and adjust the temperature. So they will be having various programs will be executed to execute wash, resin and spin dry. In some cases they will be even using the hot air drying. Okay, then this will be nothing but it is a good example of the mechatronic system. So what all it will be, they will be having the sequence which include pre-wash cycle, main wash cycle, resin cycle and spin cycle. Okay, so that is here in the diagram you can see over there. First part, this timer program S1, S2, S3, S4, these all are what inputs. So what is S1? Pump on off sensor it is. S2 is water level sensor. S3 is temperature sensor. S4 is drum speed sensor. Okay, these all they will be given to the controller. Controller is here what? Microprocessor based, it is controller. Okay, then next the controller will send the signals to machine drives. So machine drives are what? Pump, valve, heater, drum motor. Accordingly they will be actuated and they start working. Okay, so these machine drives will give you the outputs. So here you can see first one in pre-wash cycle. In pre-wash cycle what it will be there? An electric operated valve, that is your valve will be there, it will open and it will allow the cold water into the drum. Okay, then clothes in the drum are given a starting wash with cold water. Then next the water level is sensed by the signal from the controller valve and it will be switched off. The next main wash cycle will start. After that they here when here opening and closing of water valve to the supply water to set level it will be. Then heater will be on, then sensing the present temperature. After the water will be heated it will switch off the heater. Then next drum rotating with set speed for set time, then drum rotation starts. Then next discharge after rotation, then discharge of water from the drum by the pump will be there, that will discharge the water. Then next one is resin cycle. So here the cold water is supplied to the drum by opening and closing of the valve. Then next the drum motor is operated to rotate the drum, the water is emptied by the pump, the sequence is repeated several times over here. Okay, the next one is spin cycle. So here this one is last one. So the microprocessor switches on the drum motor which is signaled to rotate at a higher speed, that is resin speed. So why it is done? Because after washing you have to remove the water, you have to dry, no? So to remove water it will be done. So how it will be working? Rotate drum motor with higher speed, then stop motor when water content in the clothes reaches the desired extent, give signal after removing the water, after drying the clothes. What it will do? It will give the signal that is the work is done and it will stop the washing machine. And then next one is car engine management system.